Good morning, guys. Today's video is going to be me making tortilla chips, and also I'm going to be making my blended salsa and guacamole dip. So I hope you will enjoy the video. I used to buy my chips at a local supermarket, and they were around 300 shillings, and then all of a sudden they shot up to 500 shillings, and I just couldn't justify paying that much for them. So I decided to make my own, and I have a recipe that I really like, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you'll enjoy today's video. Also, there's a shout out that I wanted to do today. I was supposed to be doing it like months ago, and I started a business and life got crazy and I just didn't get to it. I wasn't even making YouTube videos, but I'm gonna be shouting out this YouTube channel, so let us get into the shout out right now. Hey guys, so today's shout out is going to Hannah and Kendrick. That is the name of their YouTube channel, Hannah and Kendrick. You can find them on Instagram as Hannah and Kendrick. So go give their YouTube channel a subscribe and follow them on Instagram just for very interesting videos of anything from cleaning to budgeting to thrifting. So much fun stuff that we all love to watch. And so yeah, go on over, give them a subscribe, and enjoy their videos as much as we do. So yeah, all the best to you guys, Kendrick and Hannah, and I would love to meet them one day in person actually. They are a very interesting couple, not afraid to say how it is, and very strong in their belief, and I admire that about them a lot. So yeah, shout out to them. Go follow their YouTube channel right now. Alright guys, let's get back into the video. Alright guys, so I am going to be leaving for the market right now. I need to get a few avocados. I need to get cilantro, dania, and I think that's about all. Oh, I need to get garlic too. So let's head on out to the market and get those supplies so we can make our stuff. So the market is actually within walking distance, so I'm just gonna walk down there right now. Sasa? So I'm hearing a lot of motorbikes going by and they're honking. I don't know if you can see and hear up there on the main road. I'm puffing. The president candidate Raila is supposedly in town, so everybody's losing their minds. To put my phone in. You guys, I was afraid for my life. There were so many people, and I saw Baba like day made. I can't believe it. Alright guys, so I'm back. I'm sitting here on my front porch and I'm wondering what happened. Oh my goodness, that was a cultural experience. So Raila, the presidential candidate, they are all just right here at the local stadium having a rally. So thankfully I managed through the crowd and I didn't get my phone stolen, so that's a plus. So yeah, I'm just here with my food that I got. Let me show you guys. So here's my fresh avocado. I got garlic, dania. So I need to go make this food and show you guys how I do it. Alright guys, so I'm getting ready to make the chips right now, or the crips, however you want to call them. So here I have my 4 cups of flour in this sufria, And this is a double recipe. And next we're gonna put in a half teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna open up my salt shaker here. And I don't like using measuring things, so I just measure out like in my hand, kind of about the amount, half teaspoon. So in this case, it would be 1 teaspoon of salt, just regular salt. This recipe is really easy. Honestly, it's stuff that you just have around your house normally. So yeah, it's nothing complicated. And then it's asking for a 1/4 cup of oil. So I'm just gonna try to get a 1/4 cup. This stuff comes out kind of slowly. So now that we have our flour, our salt, and our oil, I'm gonna grab 3/4 cups of water. So again, obviously I am doubling the 3/4 cups of water. So now that you have all your ingredients in this bowl, you have the flour, the water, the oil, the salt, you just go ahead and mix that up. Let me get my spatula here. You just go ahead and mix that up, and then let me see if I can adjust the camera so you can see better. So this is how it should look. So you just stir this up, and then at the end, usually I just kind of add a little bit of extra flour until the consistency is right. All right, so this is the dough now that I mixed it up, and this is the consistency it should be. I added a little bit more flour, just like a little handful, tossed it in. So now here's where I stray a little bit from the recipe. I actually like adding a little bit more oil on top, and then I add this garlic powder just to give it a nice flavor. We like the garlic flavoring in it, but you could add whatever you like, really. Paprika, or you could add like sesame seeds or things like that that you would want to have in your chips. So now I'm just going to mix this up and then put them into balls and get them ready to roll out and fry. Alright, so now I am just going to make them into some about this size of balls so that I can roll them out. So first of all, I'm going to put a little bit of flour down, just a little bit. I don't want to make them too big because my pan is not very big. Alright, I had to resize some of them, but here are the dough globs that we want to start with. So I'm going to start putting some oil down, and I actually like to roll them out with oil. And in the meantime, I'm going to put a skillet on to get ready to fry them. So this is the skillet I'm using. I actually love using these. I use them for a lot of my cooking. When I cook sukuma wiki, when I heat something up. So I'm just going to drop some oil in there and put it on the stove. So I just moved these back a little bit to create some space, and I put a little bit of oil down so that I can roll them out. So now is when I start rolling them out. And I would say the thickness of them, they don't have to be all that round in shape, obviously. This one is not very perfect and round at all. I roll them out somewhere in between the thickness of a tortilla or a chapati and the dough that you roll out for samosa. It doesn't have to be as thin as samosa dough, but not as thick as chapati dough. So you can, let me see, you can see about how thick I have it there. So I'm just gonna throw this on the pan right now for frying. I just spread it out as best I can, and I let that fry, and I brown both sides, and then I'll stack them on a plate until I've fried all of these. So while you're rolling them out and frying them, it's best to use oil on them instead of flour. but not too much oil. This is actually a little bit too much oil in this pan, just to make so it doesn't stick. And you can see how this side is starting to brown. It needs to brown quite a bit more on either side before I'll put it back here on this tray here. And I usually like to put the serviettes down just to catch any excess oil. But yeah, just a tad bit of oil to make so that it browns nicely, but not too much. So I'm gonna roll out the next one. If it gets too sticky where the dough is sticking to the countertop, you can either add a little more flour or you can put a little more oil down. So the thinner you roll them out, the thinner your chip or your crip is gonna be at the end of the day. And getting them nice and thin, they're the best. If they're too thick, they can become a little soggy in the center. So the thinner you make them, the better they're gonna be. So while this one rests here on the countertop and this one is still frying over here, let's turn that around. Ooh, wow, look at that. Yeah, so this one is browning nicely. So we're gonna brown the other side a little bit and then plop the next one in. So while this process is going here, I am going to be making the avocado dip as well as the salsa. So you guys can watch me do that right now. All right, so while the tortillas or whatever, the dough is frying, we're gonna make the avocado dip. So I have very ripe avocado here. So we're just gonna slice this in half. I hope it's not rotten. I really hope. It's hard to catch it between that stage where it's just right and where it's rotten. Oh, it's a little bit rotten on the side, but I can cut that out. All right, so take out the stone, and then I'm gonna scoop out the avocado with this spoon, just avoiding the part there that is a little rotted out. It's very nice and soft, perfect avocado. So we're just gonna scoop this out and make this avocado dip. All right, now we have that in there. And now I am gonna put some salt in there. Again, I don't really have measurements. Just put a good layer of salt over it. All right, so I'm going to add, again, a little bit of the garlic powder in there. Gives it a nice good flavoring. So we're just gonna mix this up, chopping it. All right, once you've chopped it up, it should have this consistency of basically just smashed avocados. And then we're gonna take our onion. I like to use the red onion just because it adds a pop of color in it. I'm just gonna slice this and then cut it this way. They don't have to be really, really thin slices, and I probably won't use this whole onion. But you just put a little bit of onion in. If I would have used 2 avocados, I might use the whole onion, but I don't want the onion to overpower it too much. So you just mix that in, add a little more salt because of the onion that was put in. Mix that up, and then I'm gonna add, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I add a little bit of dania or cilantro in there. I chopped this cilantro, so I'm just gonna cut a little bit of this in there. It just gives it an extra boost of taste and flavor, but if you don't have it, you don't have to add it. You don't even have to add the onion if you don't have onion. Of course, all this stuff makes it taste better. So I'm just chopping up some of this cilantro in here. right. So there we have that. And then you just mix that up. And voila, there you have your avocado dip. All right guys, so here is my blender. I am going to be blending my salsa in here. If you don't have a blender, no worries. You can always just chop it up, the ingredients by hand. It's not a must that you use a blender. So I usually like to plop a tomato in there, and then I'm gonna use the rest of this onion from the avocado. I don't like too much onion in it just because I also will be putting in 2 garlic cloves. So after the onion, put another tomato in, and then I like to put maybe 1 of the garlic cloves in there, kind of mix it up. I'm gonna be putting a little bit of salt in there, a little bit of black pepper, which you can also put in the guacamole if you want to. And then, not a lot, just a little bit of garlic powder because I already have the fresh garlic, so it doesn't take nearly as much. It actually, you don't have to put any in if you don't want to. So this is getting full, so I'm just gonna do that, and I'll save these 3 for later. So now that I have my onions, my tomato, and my garlic, and my salt and pepper in there, I'm just gonna chop the rest of this cilantro or dania in there. And we're gonna blend this baby up, and we'll be right back. All right, so now we have our guacamole and the salsa chilling here in the fridge. So here I have fried up all the tortillas, and I'm gonna cut them in pieces and deep fry them. So let's get into that now. All right, so now that I've fried each of these dough balls into kind of a tortilla-like thing, I'm gonna start cutting them in pieces. And it really doesn't matter how you choose to cut them, just into bite-sized pieces basically. So I like to cut mine into 3 pieces, and then I start cutting chips like this. Some I make bigger, some of them I make smaller. It really doesn't matter the shape. So you just cut them. All right, so here I have all my cut up pieces of the tortilla, and they're getting ready to be deep fried in this oil. Excuse my stove, y'all. I've tried to clean it and it's burnt. I don't know what to do about it. So the oil is heating right here, and we're gonna get ready to fry them and then put them on this plate back here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt on top of them. And I did forget to mention, I used all-purpose flour, ajab flour. I did not use chapati flour for these. All right, so now the oil is hot and ready to fry. So I'm gonna drop a few of them in just to make sure it's completely ready. Yeah, they're bubbling. So I'm gonna go ahead and add more. Sorry, didn't have the camera there. And we're just gonna chuck them in there until it seems to be full. Alrighty, so we're just gonna fry these up. I love when they turn into this kind of scoop shape. It really is nice for dipping the chips into the sauce when they're this shape. So now we're just gonna fry those until they're nice and brown. And then we're gonna put them out on this plate here and put some salt on them. So you can see the way the color and texture are changing. You want to leave them until they're nice and brown. They're not quite brown enough yet. And you want them to get really crispy, crispy and crunchy. So you just keep frying them. They're getting there, they're getting browner. Alrighty, so here is the finished product. These are hard and crispy and hard, crunchy, and I just added salt to them. And now I am getting ready to package those up. I'm gonna let these cool off just a little bit while the next batch is frying up. Alright guys, that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I make tortilla chips and guacamole and salsa. And let me know in the comments how it goes, or if you tried to make this recipe. I love hanging out with you all, and I hope to make more videos soon. Sorry I wasn't able to film more at the marketplace, but it was really crazy there. I'm not kidding you, probably 500 people were walking towards me, and I was afraid my phone would get stolen. But I'll take you guys out to the market soon, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye!